I do not know what I ate. That is like probably the most craziest thing about that experience. They've got a tower tour which you can go up to the top somewhere, up all the way up there I think.
And there was a bit of drama at the pond this morning.
So we're in Chester. It was quite a long drive to get here today because there were a lot of roadworks, but we're here and thankfully the drizzle has passed. It's a little bit chilly, but we want to nip in to the cathedral because we've never done the cathedral before. So we're going to nip in there and have a look around and see if it's worth us coming back and doing a tour of it, because they do offer tours. Then we're going to come back here and go to Chester's new market, which opened up in December. So looking forward to that because there's some really good yummy food options. Yeah, that was definitely worth doing.
Amazing.
I think if you're in Chester, they even do tours, and I have to say we've done quite a few cathedrals and some of them are better than others.
Yeah.
But this one, the history, the exhibition that was going on, the way they've kept it in such amazing condition, it's just gorgeous. I mean, I think it's so worth doing, so we'll definitely come back and do it.
And they're clearly spending a lot of money on restoring it, so it's looking in absolutely fantastic condition.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And the environmental kind of exhibition that they had on was really impressive as well. So it was just lovely. We'll definitely come. They've got a tower tour which you can go up to the top somewhere, up all the way up there I think, and see the views of Chester. And then they've got an inside kind of cathedral tour which talks to you about the actual history. And I think the architecture, it was just stunning. It was so gorgeous. So yeah, we'll definitely come back and do it properly.
So.
Yeah, but I am starving, so please let's go have some lunch.
long week. I'm feeling a bit broken.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not feeling my best today.
I've got the war scars to prove it.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of cleaning up in the gardens.
So it was really lovely to be able to start the week off in Chester and have that really kind of fun. The burger, my God, that vegan burger was like life-changing. It was so incredible. I can't tell you how delicious it was. It was just so weird. I've never had a vegan burger before. I've had veggie burgers, but I've never had a vegan, like, faking it burger before. The place that we went to, Vegan House, they have just won awards and they've had some amazing reviews for their fish and chips, which I've heard about, you know, places doing this kind of like fake fish and chips where it actually kind of looks like fish. It actually looks like, you know, the fish meat. But I've never been anywhere that's been serving anything like that. I asked him if he had fish and chips. He said no, it's off the menu at the moment. But he recommended the chicken burger. So I was really up for trying it, but I was skeptical. I thought it would just be kind of like maybe chicken-ish flavor or something.
I always order the vegan option if we go to a restaurant because it's something that we don't typically prepare ourselves. I mean, we eat a lot of vegetarian meals, but we don't specifically have vegan stuff. I'll always order the vegan burger, and the vegan burger normally comes through. It's a mixture of chickpeas, a lot of spices, and it tastes nothing like a real hamburger.
Yeah, or a beef burger, yeah.
Or a beef burger.
Yeah, it's more like a veggie burger.
Yeah, which is not, I mean, it's perfectly delicious. It's really nice, and I'll still always order that.
But it's not trying to dupe or fake a meat. So that's why I was kind of really curious. I was like, okay, I'll try the chicken burger. And when Mars brought it over to me, I was like, okay, that's weird. It looks like fried chicken.
It looks spectacular.
And it looked amazing. And you know, then you kind of think, well, maybe it's all in the looks and it's not going to taste that good. Oh my God, I took the first couple of bites out of this thing. I do not know what I ate. That is like probably the most craziest thing about that experience is as an adult, when, you know, we've eaten a lot of cuisine, we are the kind of people that really don't turn our nose up at anything that's new. We want to try everything and give everything a go.
Including durian.
You're gonna insert the durian photo, no, don't. It's so cringy. Yeah, including durian, which is a fruit in Singapore, which is banned in public places because it's so stinky. So because we're quite adventurous in what we eat, and if we're going out or we're traveling or something, we want to try the local cuisine, we want to try different things. But you always kind of know what you're eating, right? I mean, if you for example, with the durian, you know it's a fruit, you know it's, you know, going to have some kind of flavor that's going to be controversial. So you kind of know, but this was really crazy. I was eating what I was being told was Southern fried chicken, obviously vegan. So I was expecting it to be kind of chicken-y, but it was totally chicken-y. I mean, the meat actually, when you bit into it was like biting into a really good chicken breast. It had the same texture in your mouth. It tasted the same. It was just mind-blowing. And to not know what it was that I was eating kind of almost added to the wow factor or the mystery or whatever it is, the excitement. You know, to be, you know, nearly 45 years old and be eating something where I don't actually know what it is I'm eating is kind of crazy. I mean, we don't normally do that. That's not normally in daily life that you eat something deliberately that you don't know what it is.
And when we asked the owner, you know, how they did it, he basically said it's vegan magic.
Yeah.
and it really was. And the thing, I mean, I had the beef burger, vegan beef burger. And the patty itself was very authentic in terms of, again, the taste and the texture. But the thing that blew my mind is that it had a layer of cheese over the top of the burger. You automatically eat it and you go, oh, hang on, this is vegan. Why is there cheese here? And it was, I mean, the cheese was so authentic. The taste, the texture, absolutely everything. So, you know, it just goes to show that you can actually create a vegan, plant-based alternative to the kind of favorites that we all, you know, like in terms of whether it's burgers, whether it's chicken burgers, whatever it is.
So I said to Mars that even the brioche bun they've made is vegan. The mayonnaise that they've squirted inside is vegan. Every single thing in this burger is vegan. And that kind of blew my mind a bit, because at no way did I ever feel like I was, you know, compromising taste or not having like an authentic Southern fried chicken burger experience. So it was just really, it was very educational. I was so impressed, and they were just lovely guys, and I'm sure that they're just going to continue to just keep smashing awards.
Yeah, totally. And you got to give them props, because I have looked into making vegan food at home. It's a lot of work. So, so they've clearly put in the hard, long yards to actually put this meal together.
I can't wait to go back and try it again. And I think what was also nice about Chester is that because they've opened this new car park, which is connected to the new Chester market, it kind of is almost opened up for us that end of town, which we've never really done before. Or, we typically do the other end of town near the race course. That's why we wanted to do the cathedral, because we were really up in that area and parked in that area. So it was just really lovely. The cathedral was just absolutely beautiful. You're able to go through a really beautiful historical building like that and see how, every bit of stone has been crafted and worked by hand, and how many hours it's taken, and the dedication and the years. Crazy. And England is so beautiful with that. We have got so many gorgeous historical buildings still, and it's really lovely to be able to go and experience it. And the part that we did was free, by the way. You can just walk in. They do ask for donations, and you're able to either donate if you're able to, or not donate. I know it's quite early to say this, but I'm really keen to go back later on in the year when it's closer to Christmas, because we will definitely do Chester Christmas Market this year. I want to try and get it where we can do, maybe there's a choir or some singing carols or something in the cathedral, to be able to experience that. So we did put some clips in of the cathedral, but obviously we couldn't take up our whole vlog with the cathedral because there was so much to see. It was so beautiful. So I think you've done another video just to music. So we'll link that above. So if you want to just see the cathedral, more of it, to music and just relax. It's a beautiful video that Mars has done. It's really relaxing. So check that out. Yeah, and then clearing up the garden, more of that. The ducks are really active at the moment on the pond. They're coming in almost like every single day, multiple times a day. So they're definitely going to be nesting nearby. I didn't know until recently, or until a few years ago, that actually female ducks, the female mallards, they can nest within almost about half a mile or a mile away from a water source. I don't think ours nest that far away, but they do. They don't nest on the pond, which I thought that ducks always did, but they don't. They do nest, I think, up in the woods near us, and then they kind of march down. I've been feeding them avidly, especially next week. We're expecting it to be really cold, possibly have some snow next week. And the pheasants are obviously here.
And there was a bit of drama at the pond this morning. We had 2 geese that arrived, and our typically tranquil pond became quite a hubbub of noise. The geese are just so loud, aren't they? I mean, they really want to make their presence felt.
They're very dominant, yeah.
And the ducks, they try to stand their ground, but the geese are just so much bigger, so eventually they kind of push them to one end of the pond while the geese, but they only hang around for a couple of days typically, and then they push on.
We have had a couple of niggly kind of DIY things that have gone wrong. I think that we mentioned in the last vlog we had a leak in the kitchen. That's still kind of a bit of a question mark situation. But then also we have solar panels. Actually, when we put the solar panels in, we didn't even know about this thing.
Yeah.
And we put the solar panels in, it was when they were installing our heat pump. It was 2 separate teams. We had one team that came in to do the solar panels, one team that came in to do the heat pump. The heat pump guys came in, and one of the guys said, "Oh, you've installed the solar panels." And we said, "Yeah, we did that a few weeks ago." And he said, "Oh, so you do have a solar boost, don't you? You are warming your hot water from the solar panels first as a priority." And we said, "No, we've never heard of this. What is this? This is amazing." It kind of almost acts like an immersion heater, does it, or something like that?
They're called solar diverters. So as you said, when you're producing excess solar electricity, it basically rediverts. Instead of sending that electricity to the grid, it rediverts it to your hot water cylinder, which is basically an immersion heater. So you've just got an immersion in there. That's just basically powering the immersion, and it's heating your hot water up to a certain point. So the unit that they actually recommended at the time was called the Solar iBoost. And that kind of did its thing for 4 years now.
Yeah, in truth, the one that we got was not brand new out of the box. The guy who said this on the team, he had actually just removed it from a previous job. I think it was kind of like secondhand, or it had been installed and for some reason been taken out. So we put it in thinking, okay, bonus, and it really was a bonus. If I speak to anybody about getting solar panels, one of the first things I say is make sure you get one of these things that actually diverts your water, because it's so amazing to be able to just heat your hot water from solar on a solar day is fantastic. But unfortunately, that has packed up.
So we've got a new solar diverter. This one is from a company called Immersun. What I'll be doing next week as my little DIY project is we're going to see if we can actually install it ourselves. I will be speaking to our electrician to see whether we can or can't do it ourselves.
Yeah.
I think it should be quite straightforward because it's already been wired up exactly into the immersion that's there already. It's just a matter of actually replacing the control unit itself.
Okay.
And the one thing that really excites me about Immersun is that not only is it the actual diverter kit, it also comes with a separate module that allows you to actually monitor the amounts of consumption and how much hot water you've generated. Being a bit of a geek,
Yes,
I'm really
I love
looking
that.
forward to that.
Yeah, and I love the fact that just sitting here looking at it for the first time, it says made in England.
Yeah.
And all the boxes are recycled, multiple use, compostable, plastic free.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well done, guys. Love that. Coffee is very nice, by the way.
Yeah, coffee's good.
Caerphilly is, we don't know Caerphilly. We've never been there. We've never heard of Caerphilly. But we do watch Gogglebox, and if you watch Gogglebox, then you know that they say, you know, I can't remember the lovely people's names, but they say, you know, so and so from Caerphilly.
In Caerphilly.
So every time I see Caerphilly, the word, the name, I just immediately hear the voiceover. Yeah, the voiceover going, from Caerphilly. Coffee's lovely, so we'll definitely continue to order from San Francisco Bay Coffee from Caerphilly.
It's smooth.
It's very nice. It was St. David's Day this week, which is the celebration of St. David, who was the, I believe, patron saint of Wales. I'm not sure if that's correct. That's why people are walking around with leeks and daffodil pins. We really need to get some. They had actually launched a Welsh blend. So I think that we might have to try their Welsh blend next time. Oh, and then the Porcelain Superstore sent me some more samples this morning. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with them as a company. Because I thought that because I'd ordered the samples I did last week, I thought that I was thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to maybe have to order the samples in your name because they're going to know that I've already ordered 4 samples. But no, totally accepted the fact that I ordered it again. I ordered 3 more samples. So I ordered some extra shades of kind of the greeny blue kind of colour, just because I'm not entirely sure whether that colour that we looked at last week might be a little bit too dark. I like cohesiveness in my interior design. It's actually really nice to have a sample, especially a full size sample, and all the samples they sent us have been full size. So I kind of walk through the whole kitchen kind of holding the sample, like, you know, seeing if it works with the rest of our decor. We're kind of struggling trying to find a tiler. I'm not really sure when this project is going to happen, but I'm hoping it's going to happen sooner rather than later.
So before we wrap up, we received a question on one of the videos that you did last year on your top 10 tips for Dahlias.
Wow.
Yeah.
On our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so exciting.
There is a lady called Mval something.
Okay.
And
Hi.
she is asking you a quick question. I'm going to read it from my phone.
Okay.
So basically, she's growing Dahlias for the first time this year.
Oh, congratulations.
She's ordered 8 so far.
Oh.
No dinner plate sizes as of yet.
That's okay.
And she will be putting them into her garden this year. She's from Ireland, near Dublin, apparently.
Wow, beautiful.
And
Dublin, gorgeous.
she is asking, what type of compost did we use?
Because we're on a large property, so we just very, very rarely will you see us buying compost bags or, you know, bags of soil from garden centres because it's just not economical for us. So we might do that sporadically through the year, like when there's like maybe just one pot that needs refilling. But typically when we're starting the year, you'll see us in the next couple of months, you'll see us actually order it. And we basically order dumpy bags, which is basically 1 ton bags of soil. If you are having to fill a really big, large raised bed, then just consider ordering a 1 ton bag.
So if the dumpy bag is not an option for MVAL, is it an option then to just go and just get normal bags of compost? Because if she's only putting 8 in and maybe it's a small bed where she can't get it before compost bags, is normal compost okay?
I would just go with normal compost, peat free obviously.
Your other alternative is to go with a John Innes mix. So basically what John Innes is that it's a mixture of compost and sand. So the sand actually gives the soil a little bit of structure, and obviously you've got the compost that's got the nutritional benefits for that. I actually used some of that in our vegetable garden and in the raised beds there. I think we actually added a little bit to your dahlia bed the first year, just at the bottom, because it just adds a little bit of structure and solidity to the actual soil structure.
Just remember that dahlias do prefer it drier than wetter. So when you're thinking about your location where you're going to be planting them in the garden, really try and find the sunniest spot. Dahlias just thrive in the sun. They really need as much sun as possible. I've tried them in an area where it was kind of part shade and part sun, and they did not like it and they did not get going. So they really do need to be in a full sun position. And then I would just water very sporadically. In fact, I don't water them at all. I water them the first day that I put the tubers in, or they've grown on from tubers, so I put them in the ground, then I'll water them, then I'll leave it completely. And unless we actually have a really hot, dry spell, like obviously last year we were hitting the 40-degree Celsius temperatures, then I would support them and I go out. You could see obviously the leaves start to wilt a bit, so you then go out, it'll tell you when it's had enough and it needs some water. But other than that, really just try and leave them alone, because they do prefer it drier than wetter. And then what was the other question?
The other question she has is pertaining to the stock fencing.
Oh yeah.
Basically asking, where do we buy it from?
Yeah, good question. Stock fencing you can get from any agricultural store. So again, just go into Google, put in agricultural store, your nearest one. It's like a farming store. You could order that online. I have found very competitive pricing online as well that includes delivery. The only thing I would say about stock fencing is just be careful of what you're ordering. So you can get two, especially if you're ordering online and you can't physically see it, you can get two types of stock fencing. One which is just the same size hole over and over and over again everywhere. And another type of stock fencing which is basically where the hole gets smaller as it gets to one side, depending on which way you lay the stock fencing, whether the hole gets smaller downwards or upwards. So you just want to be careful about that. So if you are ordering it online, just look at the description and look at the sizing, and even if you have to phone the company and just double check what you're ordering, because that will kind of happen. That did happen to us. I did deliberately order that for the dahlia bed because it was just the cheapest stock fencing I could get my hands on at the time. But I just made sure that the smallest hole on the size it was going down to was still big enough to get the dahlia through. So, you know, you just want to just check your sizing. And I think our smallest hole was maybe 10-15 centimeters, and then it kind of got bigger from that. I think it went up to like 25. But I would definitely recommend going with the stock fencing option to support your dahlias. It's worked a treat for me and I really recommend it, and I'm really glad we did it. God, yeah, more dahlia questions, please. I could sit here and talk about dahlias all day, every day. So yeah.
And Emval, send us your photos once your dahlias have flowered this year. Send us some photos.
Yeah.
And we actually might add them to one of our forthcoming vlog episodes.
Yeah, really good luck. And you know, the only thing you've got to watch out for is slugs. We use a Nema slug, so just be careful. But again, we're actually quite lucky because it's in a raised bed. The slugs and snails don't tend to kind of go up to that point. But if you're doing them flat on the ground, just be aware that you might have to deal with slugs. They are so rewarding. You will just have, especially from 8 varieties, you're going to have so many flowers this year. Yeah, so if it's icy and snowy next week, I don't think we're going to be even able to get out to the garden next week. How's your vegetable seedlings going, by the way? Any sprouting?
Nope.
Anything happening?
Not yet.
Okay, well, it's only been a week, so. So I think that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed our trip to Chester and seeing the cathedral and things. Then we're going to be getting on with maybe kind of DIY type of stuff next week. Maybe you'll do the immersion heater. I might do some touch-up painting. We've got some scratches and dents in places that need to be touched up, so I might do some of that. Put on a fire and just stay nice and warm and cozy. And I might even tuck into our gardening books as well, because I haven't gone through our gardening books for a long time. I do love good gardening books. Oh, and by the way, to Embel, if you're getting into dahlias for the first time, talking about gardening books, I highly, highly, highly recommend the book Discovering Dahlias. It's done by Florette, a professional dahlia grower in America. And she's got a book, and I got that, I think it was at Christmas or last year, and it is absolutely invaluable. It's like the Dahlia Bible. It is just so full and packed with information. So really recommend getting that for yourself as well if you're getting into dahlias.
That's it, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week. Have a lovely week. Bye.